Okay, so imagine this. What if a part, maybe the most iconic looking part on a classic RC car, was actually, well, just for show, a dummy?
Uh-huh.
Today we're doing a deep dive into exactly that, the famous heatsink on the legendary Tamiya HotShot.
Right. It's quite a story.
Our mission is to unpack its surprising history, figure out what it really did or didn't do, and crucially, explore what you need to know about cooling your HotShot today.
Yeah, it's fascinating because back when the original came out in 1985, kit 5847, RC tech was quite different.
Different how? Like no modern speed controllers.
Exactly. Electronic speed controllers, ESCs, they weren't really a common thing yet. Speed was handled mechanically.
Mechanically, how did that work?
They used something called a mechanical speed controller, an MSC. Basically, it used ceramic resistors.
Resistors, like in old electronics.
Pretty much. And when you weren't at full throttle, the MSC pushed excess electricity through these resistors, and they got hot, really hot.
Ah, okay. So that's the heat source we were talking about initially.
Precisely. And those big, prominent aluminum domes on the back of the 85 HotShot, they weren't cooling the motor, which is what a lot of people think. No, they were absolutely functional heat sinks, but for the MSC resistors, they had to get rid of that heat to stop the system, melting down.
Okay, well, so the original manual would show wires going to them?
Yep, absolutely. Clear as day. They were wired right in, essential components.
That completely changes the perspective on the original design. Okay, so fast forward, we get to the re-releases like 2007 onwards.
Yeah.
Technology's moved on.
Massively. By then, modern ESCs were standard. They're way more efficient. Control speed with pulses generate much, much less waste heat.
So the resistors, the MSC, totally obsolete.
Completely obsolete. No need for them, and definitely no need for those big resistor heat sinks anymore.
So Tamiya just removed them for the re-release kits then? Cleaned up the design?
Well, no. And this is where it gets interesting, and speaks to Tamiya's whole philosophy, really. Instead of taking away such an iconic part of the look, they included a purely cosmetic piece, a dummy heat sink. That's literally what the part list calls it sometimes.
A dummy. Seriously.
Yep. Part number 9808137, I think. It's hollow plastic, looks the part, but zero function. No wires going to it, nothing.
Huh. So it's purely about nostalgia. Keeping that classic hotshot silhouette.
Exactly. Aesthetic fidelity. They knew people loved that look, remembered it, so the dummy part keeps the visual identity intact, even though the function it used to represent is long gone.
Okay, that makes sense in a way. But the hotshot still has heat issues, doesn't it? Just not from the speed controller anymore.
Oh, absolutely. While that dummy heatsink sits there looking cool, the real heat challenge on a HotShot, especially a re-release or a modified one, is the motor itself.
Because of where it's mounted, right?
Exactly. It's uniquely stuck inside the rear gearbox housing. It's protected, sure, but it creates a terrible heat trap. Very little airflow gets in there.
Right. So for you running the car, that means things like heat sag, but performance drops off mid-run.
Definitely. And worse, it can lead to premature...
Right, so measure twice, buy once. And then there's the extreme option. Fans.
Heat sinks with integrated fans, yeah. That's the ultimate active cooling, especially if you're running serious power, like a brushless system. Hot racing makes some popular ones, for example.
But that sounds like it definitely wouldn't fit.
No, without modification, no. This is advanced territory. You need to physically cut away parts of the gearbox housing to make space for the fan unit and to actually allow air to flow through it. It's a permanent modification.
Okay, definitely not for everyone then. So let's bring it back to recommendations for you, the listener, depending on your hotshot. Shelf Queen or Light Runner?
Keep the dummy heatsink. It looks right, and you won't be generating enough heat to worry about. It's all about the authentic look there.
Makes sense. What about a performance basher? Someone running it regularly, maybe with a slightly hotter motor.
Priority 1, aluminum motor mount. Then, if you can find one that fits, a low-profile clip-on heatsink. Also consider gearing down slightly. Using the smaller 13-tooth or 15-tooth pinion gear reduces load and heat.
Good tip. And finally, the extreme modder. Brushless power, really pushing it.
Mandatory. Aluminum motor mount and a heatsink with an integrated fan. And you just have to accept that you'll be doing some cutting on that gearbox case to make it all work properly. No way around it for serious cooling.
So, quite the journey for one component. From a vital, functional part for the old MSC resistors to just a piece of plastic nostalgia, while the real heat problem moved to that trapped motor.
Yeah, it really shows how technology changes things.
It really does. So here's a thought to leave you with. What does this story, the heatsinks evolution, tell us about that balanced designers strike between form, function, and pure nostalgia. Not just in RC cars, but, in everyday products. What other dummy features might be hiding in plain sight, things that used to be essential but aren't anymore? Something to chew on.